Now we're going to hit the road with Mr. Rodney Hill because it is Rod on the Road time. We are doing Rod on the Road a little differently right now in our socially distant world. But Rod, here's the bottom line. You actually physically hit the road for this week's segment.
Yes.
And it's all about Washington County's first city. I had no idea. Forest Grove, the first city ever in Washington County.
Well, I did not know that either. So the area that is now today Forest Grove was first settled back in the 1840s, and then I think it was 1872 it became the first city in Washington County. And I also forget this, Forest Grove is actually the northern gateway, if you will, to getting into the Willamette Valley wine country. So you can go out 26, start your day there, have some lunch, and then move on to wine country. All right, so I got to see the sights. Here's my fun day in Forest Grove. Standing on the beautiful campus of Pacific University, which dates back to 1849, roughly the same age as Forest Grove. And if you're wondering, look up the beautiful grove of oak trees, part of the inspiration of the name Forest Grove. So what is the richness of the history to you?
I think partly it's just the beauty that we have here in Western Oregon. Alvin Smith and Harvey Clark came in 1841 that they settled on the property that we're standing on. By 1854, Smith had built this house, and it was a stopping point for anybody in need as they transitioned from the Oregon Trail into settlement. A lot of the architecture in downtown is around 1890s. It was originally the West Tualatin Plain, but even before it received the name Forest Grove as an area, it was not incorporated until 1872, but in 1851, people were already calling it the Grove.
The tallest barbershop pole in the world. I have to admit, I'm finding out it's a painted telephone pole, but that's okay. It salutes the long heritage of barbershop quartet singing in Forest Grove.
There's several things I love about this town. One is the friendly environment, the community really comes together. I love that it's a college town. There's a lot of young energy, which I love. And I really love the placement of Forest Grove, how we're right on the edge. To the west is still all wilderness and wild and forest and everything. And to the east is all city and conveniences and fun.
An appliance store in a smaller city downtown just seems to be a classic piece of Americana to me.
Yes, our grandfather started this business with his partner in 1944.
This pink pig Traeger was born in Mount Angel in a barn.
The pig was born in a barn.
Imagine that.
1, 2, 3, fight! And the high school mascot is?
The Vikings.
Go Vikes!
I'm told if I keep going, eventually I will end up in the middle. It's going to take some time. We'll check back in an hour and see where I am. I love the Van Dykes, by the way. They're a multi-family generation appliance store. We're walking around and I look in the window and I'm like, that's a pink pig Traeger grill, which I had never seen before. That really captured my heart. Anyway, we salute you, Forest Grove. I had a great time. You live in a beautiful part of the Pacific Northwest. First up this morning, Devon Rose, and Devon says she loves the small town atmosphere and the food. Apparently Forest Grove has turned into quite the foodie town. A lot of people said that, and a lot of people mentioned New Chinese. And Devon gave a big shout out to New Chinese as well. Okay, next up is Jen McFarling. Jen says the theater in the Grove, which is right in downtown. They do community theater there now. And by her pictures, it looks like her dog actually starred in, was that Annie? Many people mentioned their beloved theater there in downtown. And then Kelly says, hey, you got to go to Scotty's. And again, this is a spot that a lot of you mentioned. It's a classic drive-in restaurant. And Kelly says she's been going to Scotty's since junior high. Now, we went on Monday and we're told that Scotty's isn't open on Monday, so that was kind of a bummer for me personally. Forest Grove was first settled back in the 1840s, and it became the very first city In Washington County, about 25,000 people call it home today. Beautiful, beautiful city out there.